Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So in chapter 38, as you're exploring through the haunted chateau, there are areas where you can actually become the cat and explore that way. So in this particular section on the third floor, there was a trap that you could crawl through, and eventually the cat will step on the trigger to open up a door. Now, if you explore and look for any kind of small holes that a cat can fit through, you'll be able to get some hidden items. Now, that red chair there actually had the first item that I found, and it was actually a note. And if you see it, and here's another hole that you can get some additional treasures. Now, this treasure wasn't that big of a deal. However, I'll just bring up the note for you and see what it says. So it's under key items, and it's called the inspection memo. And if you read down the list, it actually has 3 areas that is noted that there's something wrong with the chateau. And of course, you know, I would be led to believe that these are 3 hidden areas where we can find some pretty sweet loot. So let's go through the castle floors again for areas we have missed. So the first one is mentioned on the 4th floor. And remember that in this area right in the middle there was a statue. And if you had pressed on it, it was an exclamation mark. It would just be a statue. And these 2 chests, this one on the right here, had the dream ring. So it is a new armor, similar to tier 2 level 60s. And I believe that that would be something that can be unlocked in the another dungeon coming up after chapter 39. Now, in the second encounter, this is on the 3rd floor, and it's described as one of the nights that faces the wrong way. So you can see right here on the west corridor in the middle of the 3rd floor. Now there is a new hole for the cat to crawl into after you've defeated that weird facing knight. So let's take a look at what treasures are here. Another chair. And if you've noted, all these hidden areas are called backstage, so that would give you an indication of something cool to find. Sweet! A new armor, Toto's Masanga. So again, from the Toto's Dream World dungeons. Okay, so the last area here is on the 2nd floor, where they had said that the wall was being held up and covered in damage by the painting. And so if you've lifted up the painting, you can see that the hole is now available for the cat to crawl through. And this is the 3rd area mentioned in the memo. So Mimi's necklace. Hey, free armor is free armor. Less to craft. So I'm just going to bring these new items up in my armor to show you the stats. And you can see that you can enhance them just like any other types of the newer armor in the game. And in terms of stats, not bad, but you know, nothing we haven't seen before. So we will see what the special abilities are. Now, this will conclude the end of chapter 38. So if you've been reading and following along the story, Amy is a little bit scared when it comes to the supernatural. Mind you, it looks like the haunted house is a little bit more scary than first thought. Because, I mean, look at the things happening. Lights coming on. Remember that if you touch the mirror where the first switch was, a character image kind of runs off in the mirror. You can also see a shadow that kind of runs off on its own. So not really sure if these are special effects, being that this is in the future, and I'm sure they can have these kind of special effects, or it is indeed haunted. After finishing this chapter, it doesn't really explain either way whether or not it is contrived or indeed haunted. So up to your imagination at this point. And at this time, Amy is just talking about her past with Mildy, her best friend, and you know, some of the good memories she had at that time. On another note, I'm really looking forward to unlocking Toto's Dream World, another dungeon, because I'm always looking forward to new gear, and I know some of the weapons are very powerful, so looking forward to doing something with my red keys. So Amy was actually separated from the rest of her party earlier on in this chapter, and now we're reunited. And just in time, of course, because you know what's coming. A boss battle. So let's head to the left and face what is ours to face. So she was talking about one of these robots who helped lead her out when she was scared as a younger child. Unfortunately, it looks like the mechanical beast has a little bit of a malfunction, so we're going to have to take it down by force. So you can see it does have two minions, a wizard and a knight. They have varying resistances. So I'm going to be using some AoE magic. You can see though that the two knights are resistant to slash. So, you know, be aware of that. Okay, so we're just going to do some AoEs and just kind of damage it. It looks like these enemies and the mobs don't really hurt too much. Again, as mentioned in other videos, most of the storyline main bosses and minions aren't too difficult. So again, probably estimating around the same level as the mobs around us. So in the mid 60s to maybe level 70 or so. You can see upon concentrated attacks with my three mages, it's not really going to be an issue here. So I'm just going to use my slash attacks on the boss itself and just take care of the minions with some direct attacks now that one of the other minions is gone. So just use that. Okay, so might as well set up for a large AoE as usual. Now this is one mistake I did make, and I wanted to share this with you. So if you do activate your AoE when it has more than 50% life, it's going to stop right at the 50% mark and change modes. So you know, I would recommend waiting until you've brought it down to the under 50 before activating your AF. In this case, you know, this is my first time going through, so hopefully my mistakes are to your benefit. And you can see I'm easily damaging the boss with no problems here. So stuck. Okay, so in its second mode, it's going to alternate between squirting oil on you, which does no damage. You can see that. It does debuff you. And it makes you more vulnerable to fire. So it doesn't seem to have any resistances at this point. Now you can see it does do a moderate amount of damage for a fire AoE and self-damages itself as well. So the battle is going to end really quickly here. And so, you know, just keep this in mind. But like mentioned, most of the storyline is meant for a 4-star team to tackle, or maybe a couple of 5-stars. So hopefully you guys won't be having too much trouble at this point. I'll just take this time to remind you guys, if you haven't already, please to like and subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate it. And I also have a Patreon account for those who are interested in supporting me that way. Anyways, chapter 38 is done. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.